Yes, and yes. We have been patiently waiting. Goodness, you ladies can just chat night, and well, we will forgive you because it is technically your Friday evening, and so this is a party and a celebration of catching up with like-minded people to celebrate the fact that you have survived another week and still keeping your balance in the 5D while still entertaining mildly with amusement the 3D world that we are observing you balancing well.
Well, thank you for that.
Your pleasure. Our pleasure, your pleasure. We're just happy to help assist because we know that there are some intriguing questions that you have for us. So there is many collectives once again here that are curious to witness this. This is for them part of the play that they like. They like to sense the energy of the emotions felt while you are listening and learning from them. It's very interesting. They are serving you well as helping support the information the best way that they can, knowing that they're also scanning all of the audience, all the people who will ever listen to this, and to be able to make sure that they are meeting those people's needs and helping them learn and be entertained with some humor along the way with these bigger concepts that you're wanting to demystify and to be able to help with stepping stones to encourage people to look and think and feel into the questions that you have for us today.
Wonderful. Well, given that you are in all realities simultaneously, and you know who is going to be needing the information that will be brought forth today, did you have a lead in um, general gift to them here before we begin with the questions?
Mm. So our message that we would like to say to everyone listening is that never stop thinking that you assume everything and know all. It is impossible. And do not be ashamed or embarrassed if you are still learning and growing. This is part and parcel of it. So just because, well, we want to use this analogy, just because you once used to be able to fit your skinny jeans doesn't mean you can fit them today. And we're saying with your mindset. So your mindsets were once sort of skinny and now your mindsets have expanded and now you can wear comfortable pants and on it because you have matured into a very comfortable position in your perspective.
That is a lovely way to put it. Well, given that we are in soul contracts, and we spend, if my understanding is correct, and please do correct me if I have a misunderstanding from this particular body form, we spend a great deal of time designing when we come down here to what we have as a soul contract and what we have chosen to learn. And it's my understanding that probably on my way out, I probably was a bit cheeky and said, okay, give me it all, right between the eyes, and I'll show you how well I can manage. But sometimes we don't always know why we are here. And so for the general listener, could you give a basic understanding of a soul contract? And is it one overarching contract, or is it many smaller contracts that then involve various combinations of people as you move from your skinny jeans to your expandable jeans?
Right. So yes, you are in between lives, and when you need to come down. For example, many of the volunteers who knew that this was their one lifetime that they needed to honor this planet to be able to help with the shift. They thought, give it to me all. I can handle it. I'm a big bean. I've had so many lifetimes. I've mastered this. So why not? Give me the works and some, and it's going to be fine. Fantastic. Yes, when you are a big being, you can order big time of everything, and easily be able to master it. You're born, and then suddenly the density and the veil of forgetting who you are. You do not remember at all that you are that bigger being. And of course, there are some people who are born without veils, but this is not your question today. So we would like to use the analogy of architecture and being able to do mapping plans of a house. And so you find the perfect location, and then so you build your dream home, and you have a great foundation and you're excited about it. But as you are going along and you're building, and maybe your budget is challenged, or maybe you've noticed something else that you want to extend and expand, and actually we didn't need that 3 en suites, but we just want a big, great big walk-in wardrobe. I mean, we're joking here, but
Yeah.
as living, you can tailor make your contract. So some people are really great at going through a lot of their purposes and experiences that they wanted to do fast. And so you add more onto your plate. And of course, as times have evolved since you wrote your contracts to right now, you've had many, many, many opportunities to upgrade and tailor it. And this is done with your team. This is done with your subconscious, your higher self, and some of your soul families and the people, the beings that you highly respect on your behalf. But also when you are sleeping, you do get permission as well. When you leave your astral, when you go out into astral and you have a meeting council with all your beloveds, and be able to figure out where to next, where the best for humanity, and where the best for your growth. So it is a flexible contract. We know that, well, sorry, we of course know, but you may not know, but we are saying you do now, that if there is a challenging contract between someone that you're just not able to master and it's just too challenging, or you feel like you still have a contract outstanding to someone who's already passed, you are able to then, with setting intentions, be able to cut that contract with love, because it no longer serves you. Because often when you don't get to have closure with people who have died, because you have mostly people used to, still do, have the belief system, this is one lifetime, so therefore the person who has died is gone forever and lost, when really the person who has passed is right there supporting you all along. And this is the reason why often you can feel and sense them. So we have distracted ourselves with our conversations, but so no one writes the contract for you. You're not a slave and someone's gone right and they're going to hate mashed potatoes and be allergic to peanuts. No. You have full control over it because it's your experiences for your life. This is why you have the free will to pick and choose as you will. Many people come here wanting the full experience because this is, as you have heard, and no, this is not an opportunity where you can come back and reincarnate here.
This is the final round.
Absolutely. No one is reincarnating back on this planet who is alive listening now.
I see. Well, that is very interesting. And I wanted to get some clarification for our for future listeners that is there a sign that they can look for about when they've actually completed a contract or completed one of the lessons they chose? I mean, I have this imagination that the guardian angels and all of our beloved and our, Council of 12 and everybody who looks after, our well-being, has a big party and like, yoo-hoo, and this is there a sign that a 3D human could see or understand or feel when they know they've like done it, they're done and they've finished it? I mean, obviously if you finished everything you would be leaving, but we're leaving anyway. So, but in their lifetime, as they complete, is there a way they know for sure that they've done it? Is it just that it no longer triggers them? Is it as simple as that?
Yes, they have no longer, they can look back at a past experience and realize and seeing the purpose, the lesson, and the experiences that they needed to be able to grow into the persons that they are today. So it is merely mastering your reactions and being able to see things from a distance, to be able to look back and see right, well, this happened, and these are the offshoots of that experience, and I've learned from that, and I haven't repeated those cycles, and all of that. It is the fundamental of completing a contract with a certain person, is to be able to still love them unconditionally, regardless of whatever has happened, and still love yourself for whatever happened with your responsibilities there. And we just want to say very seriously, all of your guides have a star chart for you, and every time you complete something, we put a little star there. Of course, we've been joking.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I was wondering if we just like got gold stars or something on the other side, and it was like you get to see it when you're done.
They're completely taking the piss of you. It is not possible for that to happen. But we see that you are, we check it off on your contract, and there is, it is not just a five wish list thing that you want to experience. It's chocker. It's a very dense, if you want to say, contract. And so this is the job of your subconscious, is to know in and out your contract, all the amendments, all the updates, all of the things that you have passed. And they're seeing it. They're seeing, oh, they kind of got it this time, but what if we just push this person in and have a little bit of a difference? How will they react this way? So, the universe is providing us these beautiful, exciting experiences for you to have and overcome. And when you know that you have been confronted with something very similar that would have just blown your mind and ruined your Tuesday, this is when you can see it, go, okay, I'm not going to buy into that. I'm not going to react. I'm going to keep neutral, and and keep on being fantastic and bigger perspective. It's every time you are given a new opportunity, which you have multiples every day, it is your decisions and choices to be able to make the best out of it. Of course, you may get 5 out of 10 right, and right sounds judgmental, but each time you profoundly learn and grow from something, it's a big growth for you. So you notice the more and more and more of what you do for your contract, you have greater inner peace. And this is
Yes, so that's a clue for most people that if they have the ability to get to neutrality around a rather highly charged emotional issue that they've now mastered, they would tend to look for, oh, I can stay neutral here, but I see how I would have reacted, and I see how I can react, but I'm going to choose to stay in a more neutral place. Is that my understanding you correctly?
gold star for you. Yes,
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's great because I think most people don't really know about contracts and that they signed up for that, and the choices that they make every day do add up to a life. And so I was just hoping that they could get some assistance in understanding that there are clues when you actually got it, and you don't have to keep banging your head against the same lesson
yes.
when you can stay in that neutral place. So that's very helpful. So I'm wondering about this shift because there seems to be enormous confusion around whether it's a literal shift, a metaphorical shift, an energetic shift, and are some people going to the after party and other people staying here and getting Armageddon version. So I'm wondering if you could just help the average understanding of the shift. And I've heard variations on 70% of the beings that are alive today are planning to go on. 30% have signed up to stay here. And what is here? So there's a kind of a multi-universe question there where when the group who decides to leave, like, for example, what happens to if somebody goes, well, wait, I missed the bus. I got it. Now I want to go. Does everyone go at once and there's no like follow-up bus to bring the rest of us if someone changed significantly?
First of all, yes, we're very aware of the shift, and we understand the information that you're requiring from us. We did want to say previously, just before, and we will not forget about the shift. It is hard for people who are living their life contracts to compare other people's lives because they assume that everyone should have the same contracts and you don't. It's like
Yes.
lunches. And so while you may look at other people who may have a simpler, easier life and think, oh, why me? Because you know you could handle it and you're expecting yourself to be able to do it. So you have all the support for your team to be able to help assist you with that. So it is always best to focus on your own life journey and not compare yourself with others truly, because you're on different paths and different journeys and have different contracts. So we just wanted to add that in terms of the shift. And
That
this,
makes sense.
yeah,
Thank you.
in terms of the shift, the 70% of the planet is shifting into the fifth dimension, which is not currently going to be possible on this planet. And so they have been evacuated to be able to move to the new Earth. The 30% of humanity that is still here, which will be then termed the old Earth, will live out their days in quite a chaotic experience, which they have also put in their contracts. So they are not, this isn't for them, this is exciting for their soul contracts and experiences. There's lots of karma there, there's lots of lessons there, and those aren't always going to be the people who are, in quotation marks, asleep. Many asleep people will naturally shift. It is not a conscious mind decision, it is bigger than that. And so there will be no one thinking, shoot, I've missed the bus. No one will be left behind who is not intended to have been left behind. So this is when we take over the controls. This is when we collect you. Everyone will experience a sensation of shifting, of a lifting. There will be bright light. You will not be able to use your eyes with the intensity of the bright light. And you will not be able to be truly aware of what will be happening as you shift over into the new Earth. It is a very long destination, which has been very well organized. And this is the reason why you have so many galactic councils and physical generational ships and transporting ships here in your stratosphere at the moment. And they have been here for a very long time, waiting patiently for humanity to evolve into its higher perspective frequency for them to be able to be prepared. If we grabbed you a few years ago, your bodies and your, well, we're only taking your crystalline body with you, but you have to evolve into your crystalline body to be able to be taken. And so there are so many upgrades that you need to be able to manage the travel. And so, you know, we are slowly helping you. And of course, it's fantastic when humanity helps itself, because then you have done your own lessons, your own growth, and your own experiences. But we're here to assist in any way we can. And so we are always going to be supporting you no matter what. The ultimate situation that you are on right now is that Gaia would like to reincarnate and leave this planet because it no longer serves her. It is too toxic for her to live in, and she has been here for a very long time. She is depleted. She is depleted. And so she is wanting to remove herself now from this vessel and to have a departure and to be reborn again into the new planet, which has been designed for her and designed for humanity to evolve and to shift and to be able to grow into their 50 lifestyles and experiences. And there is many different things that will be occurring. It is a completely different lifestyle. It is a completely different way of life. It is a completely different way of living. It is profoundly awakening as soon as you get to the new Earth. And we are wanting you to be able to evolve as much as you can now before this event happens.
So that's, thank you for that there. That's a great clarification. For those older souls, perhaps, well, maybe I should ask this first. There are people that I know, my husband among them, who love their 3D body and love this beautiful earth and want to be here, feel that they were here at the beginning and that they have signed up to be here at the end. And I wonder, are there old souls who have chosen to remain behind as this vessel comes to a conclusion to complete their own soul understanding, who were perhaps here at the beginning as a soul in the very first part of Earth, but who are now committed to seeing the closure?
Many of the souls that helped build and create the architecture structures of this planet are now embodied in this lifetime to be able to experience it. The planet will become so unstable as soon as the soul has been removed, just like a body that has had its consciousness. The decay starts coming in, and there will be lots of natural destruction and disasters as the body is rapidly decaying. And so the people who are wanting to stay here after the shift to experience the old Earth, it is not needed for them to see the body in such a state. It actually is quite traumatic and still challenging for the souls who had great hopes and plans for this planet to see it in such an array. It is very challenging for them. They want to be here right now to be able to support their higher frequency energy to be able to help humanity with this shift. And so they will want to go and return, well, not return, but to advance to the new Earth to be able to be part of that new beginning. And so we cannot speak of everyone's soul contracts as they are all very unique. And every soul has a purpose and a reason why they want to experience certain things. But the reason why there are volunteers here right now living their first lifetimes on this planet is because when they were other beings, higher beings, helping this planet, helping humanity, and helping other planets around the solar systems to be able to do exactly what is needed right now. This is very purposeful. This isn't a coincidence that there are big beings here embodying human lives.
Well, are they also being a witness to the end?
It is an incredible experience and opportunity to be here when the shift happens, to have this big evolution jump. It doesn't often happen like this. Normally, planets get evacuated and shifted to likewise dimensions. And so it's like for like. And so there is some beings who, the 70% will be distributed to New Earth to return to their home planets, to return to other planets that they want to experience, and then return to source. So it won't be 70% of the population on New Earth, remembering that the numbers you're told about the human count for the population is merely fictional, because you are counting, they are counting backdrop people, and it's the illusion that there is many more people and beings here. It is merely an illusion. And we want to say to people like your husband, who loves this 3D body and loves the planet, that is fine, but if he is supposed to shift, he will. And so this is why many people cannot handle listening to the bigger information, because the information about leaving their homes, their materialism, their identity, their jobs, their everything, and their bodies to go to a new Earth sounds extremely challenging and stressful, and a lot of lack and a lot of loss. And the reality is you will be incredibly elated. That's when the big celebration will occur. That's when we will be actually celebrating, and maybe we would even give you a star sticker for your efforts, because we have been a long time for this, and so have you, and so has the planet. And so this is a big journey that we've all been together playing our parts and roles. And this is why we have been firm, very firm, with the light workers who are still reluctant to actually empower themselves, to actually do their inner work, to actually be able to help others. And when you are, shall we say, for the better term, slackers, and not doing your spiritual work to help the collective, you are not giving the opportunities to be able to heal and connect with people you were supposed to. And so you're missing out on those experiences and those lessons. Remembering every person you meet, you can learn and grow from. And so
Yes.
this is something that many spiritual people believe. Well, I've watched a few videos from so and so in the 80s, so I'm all clued up, and I don't need to talk to anyone now or advance my belief systems because I know spirituality and I've got it down. Well, the reality is spirituality has been manipulated and diluted and and transmute it into all sorts of nonsense. And we say this with love because we can see things from our perspective, and humanity is still gullible to deception and control and manipulation. And we say this with love because it's very challenging for you to even know where you trust and how you can trust because of your food supplies, your water supplies, your environmental supplies is triggering your body to not naturally trust. And so there is a lot of things that are combating your body to make you not even feel that inner peace. And this is why people who are going off the grid, so to speak, feel that relaxation of not being in that hustle and that bustle. This is why everyone was locked down. One of the reasons why everyone was locked down, to get them out of their routines, to slow their pace and to really get a new sense of time and responsibilities and connections with the people they actually live with. As we said before in many sessions, the lockdowns were a gift to humanity, and it just depended on how you use your time, depends on what you received out of it, because we can't keep giving you gifts when you don't deserve them. We want to give you those gold stars, but you must earn it. And so many people think that we're just going to give you. Many people think that we are potentially, we like this term because we know it makes the vessel laugh. Most people think that the spiritual teams are just their sugar daddies giving them all want. And we aren't that. We could never be that. That would defeat the whole purpose of your mission. And while we have always given you exactly what you have needed, we've never always given you what you wanted because we know best. And sometimes sugar daddies don't know their boundaries, and this is why a lot of people like them. And we want to just keep using this analogy because we know that the vessel is laughing and finding it amusing. And we wanted to make this lighter conversation, because we do know there are people listening who are holding onto their skin tightly, going, "Never, I'll never go." And we say that is fine. You can be relaxed, and we don't want to say you'll be relaxed sleeping because those people will never want to sleep. So it is natural. It is harmless. It is natural. It is exciting. What you can experience in the fifth dimension is more than your wildest dreams. You are so profoundly connected to each other. You're so profoundly a unit, and it's loving, genuine love, unconditional love. It is all the great higher emotions, all of the how we keep saying to you, feel unconditional love and find your joy. Well, it's impossible not to find your joy in the new earth. You feel it completely. You're surrounded with it, and so you are just in this, I don't know, this ecstasy of just love and fantasticness. And while there is so much to learn from it, you will reflect back on your 3D life experience and think, I can't believe I actually did that. That's really insane. And, you know, it will just be the most amazing thing when you realize what you've all been enduring for so long. And we say bravo, because this living life and experiencing life and mastering it is definitely gold star worthy. And we just want to use the analogy of a woman being pregnant and waiting those 900 months as she is pregnant, and then the big long labor. And we're saying jokes, we know that it's 9 months or maybe 10 depending on how you count time, but it is amusing for us. And so anyway, we need to be focusing. So it is about woman waiting. And so let's just say the woman's been wanting to have a child for 10 years. Then she is pregnant for all those months, and then she finally gives birth, and she's got the baby, the bundle in her arms, and she just cannot believe she's done it, because she has mentally for 10 years built up expectations, worries, fears. Am I going to be good enough? Is my childhood going to damage my child? How can I be a better parent? Responsibility. So I have my retirement fund. What car seat does one buy? You know, you start going into big research and worry mode, and then you have the baby, and you've got the baby, and everything that you've ever worried about previously. And we can only say this about a healthy baby, and we're sorry for the people who have had to experience, but purposeful babies that have not always been so healthy. So we're wanting to keep this a happy little story for entertainment factor, but you finally have that baby and you just cannot believe you've done it. all of that worry, all of that stress, all of those nightmares, all of those waking up 3 times to go wheeze in the night, all of it was worth it for this incredible little bundle of joy. And then you add more pressure onto yourself because can I do it enough? I'm starting to get sleep deprived, and it is just, we don't want anyone to worry about the events that are happening. This is all purposeful. This is what you signed up for. We promise. No one's going to be tricked into this. You signed up for this. You want to be experiencing this. And for people who want to feel like they're going to accomplish something incredible, we want to say, when you have shifted and explored your 5D life on New Earth, and wherever you go after that lifetime, you have bragging rights, because everyone knows how challenging this planet is and how crazy it got. And if you wanted to say you had a spiritual CV, this would be on the top and you would get employed in immediately, because it's just so challenging, so epic, so hard. And we just want to say the last 3 months that you have all experienced have been just either icings on the cake for the people who have done all of their inner work prior to December, or extra bonus rounds. And we want you to not feel frustrated that the shift hasn't happened before, because you are trying, remember, to be inclusive to all of humanity. And while some of you have got ants in your pants and wanting to shift yesterday, slow down. Use your amazing, manifestation. You have got powerful, you all have powerful manifestation capabilities right now. And as we said to you in a few sessions back about creating this imagination space where you can manifest everything, while you may want to be cheeky and think that you're putting you're pulling one over on us by adding $1 million into that manifestation site, go for it, see how far you get. But we want to say add all of humanity in there. You can love all of humanity. You can seriously love all of humanity and nurture it like that baby, because you have every single day you have struggled on this planet. Every single day you have overcome stuff. It is all to help humanity. So why not now just give a few moments to be able to really place humanity in your imaginary space and just love it and give it treats and just nurture it and support it and encourage it to continue on with releasing all the negativity, releasing all the fear, feeling the love of unconditional beings surround them all the time, and trust their inner tuition and be able to love themselves profoundly. We want so much great things for you, and sometimes you just don't listen to us, and this is fine. We understand you get distracted, but we want to say that we're always here and we always have been here to help.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Did we answer your
One, yes, and I always, anyone who knows me this side or the other knows that there's always a million to follow after that. So the quality of peace, love, and joy is something that has become very precious to me, something that I never would have guessed was even possible. And from your previous description just now, it sounds that that is the objective for this time remaining. And I recognize that we can't predict, but I'm also, as far as actual timing of the shift, because it could come at any time. But when I hear, for example, there is a woman who is in charge of the key integrated monetary system. Her name is Kimberly Gogan. And she has many people very focused on understanding as the designated person who is able to look at this Kim's system, is really focused on restoring this planet. But from what I'm hearing you say now, this planet will degrade very quickly after the soul of Gaia has departed and reincarnated on the new planet being prepared. So Is someone of that nature trying to keep people busy so that they have something to do before the shift happens? Or is that a myth and the whole thing is a made up story?
We know that humans are addicted to materialism and money, and they think that that's going to give them the inner peace and joy. And you know that's not the case at all. And so many people have had to believe for a long time that there is going to be a big abundance for them just close, just close, just close. And what does that do for humanity? What does it do for those people? Gives them excitement, gives them something to focus on, gives them joy. They get so excited thinking about how they're going to spend that money. So those people who do not have spiritually as such in their minds, but they are still focused in the 3D, this will give them an elevated, high vibration. We are tripping them, we are tricking them, we are
I
manipulating
see.
their basic desires and needs and their addictions for the belief system that everything's going to get better for them once they have more money in their pocket. And so this is many of the reasons why we have had to manipulate humanity and get them excited to be able to look forward to something. And so it's interesting because once again, after you've had that new baby and you just have that breath and think, oh, cute, I'll take some photos. And then suddenly you start worrying about the rest of that baby's entire life. And this is what humanity is doing for the people who know about the resets. So they're excited to be able to have these resets. And once they have the resets, then, oh, great, isn't that cute? So wonderful. Let's take the selfies. And then they're going to start planning and worrying about how the actual structures and systems are going to actually work when they know that the systems that they've currently been in have been corrupted and faulty. It's too huge of a deal to have full restructures, re-systems, profound resets for humanity to exist when you're also addicted to, shall we just say it, greed. You're also
Yes.
addicted to ego. You're also addicted to so much stuff. It's going to implode. We love the idea that you think it's going to be fantastic and easy and it's just going to take some time, but we've got it all under control. Fantastic. Some of the people are still working on that and processing that and getting excited about that and looking forward to that because that gives them hope, that gives them a future, that gives them so much of the positive dreams that they want to manifest and be feeling excited for. Because if many people who know the crimes against humanity but don't have the metaphysical perspective of it become incredibly depressed and incredibly disempowered and overwhelmed, and this is not what we want for anyone. And so we are creating many reset situations that will give people many excitements.
And that is the way in which they can keep their vibration high while they plan for an imaginary future that won't happen on this 3D planet.
Correct. And the reason why we have taken a lot of people's finances away from them last year was because they needed to realize that money doesn't give them happiness, that they can actually enjoy
Yeah.
it for free. And this is a very new concept for many people. So this was to break down their status. This was to break down a lot of their belief systems and actually really look at their drive and motivation for their big jobs that they have no joy in, for their big homes that they are just trying to compete with their other friends. Like they're really looking at their lives and their choices and being responsible for their materialism to some degree, realizing it can be all taken away because of the lockdowns. We want to say and remind you, because you're not familiar with the information that we've provided about the new earth, there is no money systems on the new earth. And so everything that has been taken away from you now to overcome and accept is getting you all prepared for the lifestyle of the new earth.
I see. That makes a lot of sense. So, would a woman such as Kim Gogan be in service to humanity then in this way and be actually conscious of her role in this ruse, I guess you might call it, to keep humanity thinking positive on how they can help when in fact all of it is going to take place on the new earth?
So many people in that position take their jobs very seriously and they're focused on it. They don't know about the new earth. They are just trying to keep humanity afloat and this world afloat. If they knew, actually, why bother? Because in a little while we're going to be on new earth. There's going to be no financial system. A lot of people would not be motivated. A lot of people would be like, oh, let's just do our bucket lists. We'll just do this. Let's do that. You know, they still need to, a lot of people still need to focus on their 3D lives because they still haven't done their inner work. They still haven't done all of their contracts that they needed to do. And so there is many purposes for many big people to be playing their role genuinely, thinking that this is all part of helping humanity. It's authentic. If they realize that all of their hard work and late nights and you know, over stress about how to look after this new baby now, you know, being humanity, you know, it's a lot. They would not be able to be motivated like they are. They need to be able to show people their working processes and how they're going to do stuff. Because you're all too intuitive now. While most of people who are listening are like, say what now? You are all very intuitive. You have grown so much in the last year. The higher vibrations have brought in your intuitive connections more and more and more as they will continue on, because this is how you're going to be connecting with each other more. This is how you're going to be feeling and communicating with you all. If you enjoy flying, get into it now, because you won't be able to pull it off on the new earth, shall we say. So have a lot.
Yes, well, that was one of my questions, because my husband is trying to learn to wing foil, and I'm learning very fast how to kite surf. So I'm thinking, wow, we better get to it pretty quick, because we may not have much more time to perfect our technique, since we won't have a 3D body in the next round.
Well, so you have a crystalline body, and you are trying to mimic what you will be doing on the new earth, which will be elevating and levitating, and if you want to call it flying, you can. But it is all these sort of things that you can do with the power of your mind and using and manipulating energy for good. And so you are doing exactly what you want to do. You're getting those adrenaline pumping, the good type, not the addictive type. We know that's a sensitive thing.
Mhm.
So we want to say that this is a natural high for you. You want to have this joy, this challenge, this physical challenge. You know, it makes you feel fit. You love the ocean and you love the speed of it, and it is so challenging for you. You love it, and basically,
Mhm.
when you come off into the water, you want to go straight back in again. But at that point, your toes are getting wrinkly, and you know it's a sign.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I suppose for most people, they might want to know that it's not the time to sign any big contracts if it's never going to um, come to fruition. I mean, I'm looking at some of a 3D timeline, which of course we can't always predict, because it has to do with humanity's choices and levels of consciousness collectively when we're ready to jump ship and be on our way. So, um, would you say that for most people, if they were to focus on those things that bring them joy and peace and love, and including all of humanity in their little bubble of creation, that that would be enough while they're waiting?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, if everyone actually put in some effort and time to be able to find their inner peace and joy and love each other unconditionally and love themselves, as we've been saying for quite some time.
Yeah.
You know, we're not just saying it for the cute words. We're literally serious. We you know, almost have been begging you to do this, and this is why we find ourselves very perplexed. How many light workers know about different dimensions, know about reincarnation, know about the spirit guides, but don't really talk to them about much, apart from maybe calling in Nana to see if she's doing fine after her departure. You know, you have, while many people know about our dimensions and that we're here helping humanity, no one really, well, not, of course, many people do, but we would have liked more of the majority of humanity to know this. And the more people knew about these connections and to be able to release and have pure connections with us, so dropping ego, dropping fear, having great intentions to be able to help humanity. And of course, helping humanity must come from helping yourself first. And if you have still got some childhood drama that you're saving for a rainy day in that emotional, spiritual closet of yours, open it now, because you'll be surprised how much more advanced you are and how capable you are of unpacking that, loving that, nurturing that, seeing the purpose of it next.
Well, and will people get an opportunity to continue to unpack what they had in their spiritual closet once they make this shift? Or is the expectation you better get it done now quick because you're not going to have much more time?
Well, there are still things that you can process on the new earth, but it's in the fifth dimension. So there is different ranges of emotions. And it's kind of like, what do we say? It's kind of like reading books that have volumes. And so you've read the first volume, you've closed it up, you've put that in the shelf, you start second volume. You don't need to go back into the first volume to look at maybe the pages you've missed, or you didn't kind of know all of the ins and outs. You can't remember every single word that was done in that first volume. You're just jumping on into the second because you want to find out the gossip in that second volume. It's once the chapter of Earth is finished, it's finished. You can unpack it emotionally and understand it with a bigger perspective on the 5D, but you can't come back and redo it. You can, it is so different. It is so different. It is like, it's like squishing in those skinny pants again when you've got.
So technically then Gaia will reincarnate, but humans are done with reincarnation matrix in the 5D. So we don't have to do that dance over and over.
So the death scene really is just saved for the dramatics of this 3D planet and all 3D planets. So once
Gotcha.
you fit into your light crystalline bodies, then when you have mastered your time on New Earth and you've done all the things you want to do, and you feel like it's time for you to move on, you just naturally, as you are advancing in the fifth dimension, you're naturally becoming less and less physical, because remember, when you arrive on the new earth, you are partly physical. This is the new thing that we are able to implement. So it's not so just being what some people think would be ghosts, because you're not ghosts. You're but there is a little bit of you that's physical, so you can still feel the senses of walking on the new earth. You can still feel each other's physically. It's going to be different, but it is going to be similar at the same time. Of course, your bodies are going to look very different, but then it may be that you just freak out too much, that for the comfort of your stability, you are going to put on you're going to use your crystalline body to look very similar to who you feel like you are. And so, of course, when everyone loves the look of yourself, when you're able to rock those skinny jeans, you're going to be wearing those skinny jeans on the new earth, and you're going to have that as your body, that you feel comfortable with, because you can manipulate yourself in such a way. So it is very different for many different people who feel really comfortable in their skin, but it won't be skin. It is a mixture of orbescent crystalline energy. You're not all just glitter and sparkles. There is actually there's a range of colors that you can attain, that is frequency. So it is nothing you've ever experienced, but it is all profoundly amazing. A wonderment is exactly what we want to say to you, because as soon as you leave this density, my goodness, you basically just feel so free. And then the bonus is that you get to continue on living on the new earth and creating that, being foundation members of the new earth, and setting in all of your knowledge and wisdom and connection, and being so grateful that you have that freedom, so grateful that you don't have that control system. And many people will instantly know about all of the crimes against humanity, even the ones who are asleep, when they get to the new earth. They can cope with it better in the fifth dimensional mindset, where they profoundly can accept it for what it is and understand that there were people who needed to be awoke first to be able to help push and encourage everyone and inspire everyone to have those high perspectives, to have that profound unconditional love for you and for everyone. And of course, this is nothing new. This isn't trending right now, and it's always been said. It's always been said throughout all of mankind. Really, it is about unconditionally loving each other, being of service to yourself, honoring others, respecting others, accepting yourself, accepting others, and it is about profoundly feeling the oneness and being able to have no competition, no jealousy, no judgmental feelings, none of those lower 3D dimensions, because that will not be needed on the new earth. Of course, you could, just for, you want to say, shits and giggles, just to remind yourself of how intoxicating and challenging and how ill it made you feel holding on to those lower emotions. So, there is so much you can do and explore on the new earth. It is truly magical in so many ways, and it's been gifted really and created to be able to help a healing place for many of humanity that needs to come and depress a bit and process everything that they've done. It's been an exhausting ride for many who just thought they'd come here for a little vacation and a little physical
Mm.
experience, and it has got much worse and bigger than that.
Well, your description of wonderment, I wonder if it includes a sense of transparency, that those colors that you describe would be a reflection of what is happening, but it's not emotional per se from the way you're describing it. It's your level of a consciousness displaying itself. Could that be a fair approximation?
Yes, so there are many, we want to say, newer souls that have only had one or two lifetimes in general, and there may be some other beings that have had, thousands of lifetimes. And so, whatever you feel natural in your comfortable state, that will be what you are representing. But it is about comfortability and you enjoying the frequency and the physical crystalline body that you're embodying. It does get a little bit of time to get used to it, but there is a relaxation there. You are allowed to, it's much more easy to control your emotions and your mind there. And of course, you can sense other people's feelings and thoughts just by thinking of them. And so that's going to be
Mm.
overwhelming for people, because when you suddenly think, oh man, I just wish Nana was alive to see this. This is amazing. Poof, here comes Nana, because you've just summoned hers in and she's going to be an orb. And then you're going to notice that you can connect profoundly with what you perceive as dead people and be able to have profound connections and conversations with them. And so this is a completely different realm. It's a completely different dimension. It's completely different possibilities and connections. It is exciting. It is so exciting. But remember, you're going to have to accept that there won't be your Facebook and your social media and your lifestyles as such, and that will be a blessing, because it won't be until you get to the new earth that you realize that everything you've put in your daily routines, from peer pressure or just the way that you believe life should be, actually was a lot more draining and challenging and unnecessary.
That's very interesting. I was just toying with a very sort of funny idea that the way you describe it, I might not be able to bring my kiteboard with me, but I can have that sensation of flying in a 5D realm. So you don't lose the thing you love. It's maybe the mechanism through which you gain access to it that has shifted.
Yes, so you can naturally use your own body to be able to do the kite surfing movements and the elevations in the air, and the, because we assume you do tricks and spins and flips.
No, I don't dare. I don't want to kill myself. Not too soon. I do love speed though. You had that right. I love the speed. I love the precision. I love the harnessing the wind and the water and the waves and the beautiful sun and all those things. And those aren't going to get lost for people. It's just a different experience of them in a, a new beginning for a planet. You get to be, as you said, the foundation members of creating its wonderment, co-creating perhaps even.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And so you won't be needing the tools that you think you need to be able to do the flips and the tricks that you will be doing on the new earth. And of course, we know that you do not physically do the flips and the tricks in your physical bodies now, but we do know that sometimes you've had dreams where you have been really wild and adventurous and loved it, and you've just because you're so passionate about it that you
Just
actually.
wanted to clarify that for some people who maybe feeling a certain degree of sadness of what they're leaving behind, not necessarily the material things, but the things they love that give them joy, that bring their spirits up. And I'll bet you some people are wondering, is there sex on the new earth?
Mhm. Yes, but you have lots of physical pleasures, but you do not conceive the same way. So you do not go creating procreating as you would do on the new earth. And we understand from this perspective in your 3D, you're worrying about your family photos and what you do with your pets and things like that. We understand that suddenly it feels like people are having to pack and you can't take anything. It's very
Yeah.
It is a very normal process that many of the people who are listening have already experienced and prepared themselves for, because it is about releasing themselves from the need of the 3D physically. And so it is part of their journey. They've had to do their own inner work, and they've had to prepare themselves to leave not only the comfort of their own home and their lifestyles, but then also their bodies, and then also their money. And so there's a lot of different layers of what people have to overcome. And many people have had over a year to be able to prepare themselves for these changes. So they've really enjoyed what they have had, which has given them more joy. Nothing.
Yes.
You cannot expect to die and still take your family albums with you. So why would you
Yeah.
be able to do it on the youth? And we just want to say that if you wanted to tap into any information from any of your memories, it's all within you. So nothing is lost. Nothing.
I think that will be very comforting to many people. So, of course, we can continue this conversation at another time. I want to be respectful of Jo as the channel and the energy that she has. We've come to close to an hour, and I want to make sure she understands that I'm honoring her request for it not to go on too long. But I have really enjoyed this conversation, and I've really enjoyed the new images that I can now feed into my imagination about how to embrace what's happened already, how to embrace where I am at the moment, and how to embrace this exciting new chapter that will begin for those who have chosen to experience it. So thank you so much for all these wonderful insights.
You're more than welcome, and we're more than happy to help you, because we understand that these are the missing pieces that you needed to understand and see and experience and feel from us, from our energy right now. Why there has had to be so much tragedy, pain, suffering, profound experiences that really didn't seem to make any purpose. If there was a God, why am I experiencing this kind of moments? And so we want to say everything that everyone has experienced in their lifetimes now have been so purposeful, so profoundly purposeful, and nothing has been wasted. No growth, no lesson, no experience will be wasted, because it is growing your soul, it is growing your internal wisdom that you have to keep for the rest of your life. So just because you're shifting doesn't mean you have to have a clean slate and it's all starting again. This is why we say get a jump on it now. Most of the people who are listening are the way showers, are the bigger light beings, are the people who are here to, when they shift, when you all shift, they will be the introduction guides and the supporters and the leaders and the teachers and the way showers and the everything, because so many people will be really confused and kind of, what am I dreaming? So this is the reason why people needed to know, hurry up, release all your drama, release all your karma, get over yourselves, because it's just a game, it's a play. This is purposeful to help awaken humanity. Get it? We love you, love yourself, love others, and get on with it. because everyone is needing to shift off this planet before Gaia decides that she is no longer willing to wait. And so there is a limit for her patience, and she is very keen to go, and she has agreed with us to be able to stay as long as possible. But we are really needing humanity to be pushed into a better perspective. And we understand that so many people that may seem very asleep one week could have profound epiphanies the next and be completely able to absorb all of the crimes against humanity, and even be able to hear and understand the purposes of it, trusting that that everything is going to plan, everything is protected and safe, and we are your protectors. We've always been your protectors. Sometimes you've been our protectors in other lifetimes. And so we take our jobs very seriously, because we understand that what is happening here, while it is a game, we do not want to trigger you and cause you any more hardships. We're wanting you to graduate as fast as you possibly can, so we can keep nurturing you and guiding you.
Wonderful. We hoped, Joe and I, that this conversation could help many people feel comforted and inspired and invigorated and hopeful, and get off their butts and get it done. So anyway, I think at this moment, unless you have something more to add, I think you've done a beautiful job of helping translate the information so that those light workers who are really committed to being the guides, the receiving guides on the other end, know what the task is ahead of them and what they need to do.
Yes, and we want to say to the people, you can be on your butts, listening to us, and also with your imagination creating this manifestation of profound love and harmony and balance, and adding all the emotions. But please do not waste your time with just saying the words as if it's meaningless. We want you to feel it. And now we want you to feel the difference between this, I love you, versus I love you. Notice the difference, because one has dead emotion and one has a live emotion. So when you're creating your little fantasy world of whatever you need, we want you to add in all of humanity and be able to tell humanity your feelings for humanity. We want you to heal humanity, love humanity, nurture humanity, and give it a good wish. Keep wishing and asking for healing and help and love and support and all the things that you really want for yourself as well. And so when you're using this time in your skinny jeans or in your comfortable pants, we don't judge, and we are sorry if anyone was triggered with that. We love you unconditionally. um, is that when you're sitting there and you've opened up your imagination bubble, and we want you to really just imagine the whole planet in there and all of humanity there, and with real intent, say the words or feel the words. You don't have to say it out loud if it feels too weird for you. Just sending your intention of profound love. So important. It is so important.
And can we also send that to Gaia for profound gratitude for all she's done and endured, and bon voyage to the new experience?
Yes, she knows it, that she understands that there are many people that don't even understand that she's alive. So she doesn't take it personally. She is getting lots of healing. We are seeing Gaia healing now on behalf of all, to honor her, to honor the mother that has given us this physical life, this physical body, to be able to help us, to be able to create ourselves and our bones and our lives that we have. And we are very blessed and honored to have been able to live here while we have learned these experiences, and have grown. And we honor her and we thank her for all of her diligence for humanity. And we only hope that all her experiences that she wanted in her life contract were met. And we understand that humanity has done some things that have impacted her. But we understand that she is loving and compassionate, and she is forgiving, and understands that these are the things that happen, and she has learned so much from it as well. So she doesn't want anyone to feel sorry for her, because she has been accepting of this, and she has had her contracts changed, and this has all been part of the councils that have been monitoring and helping her, and she has got her own support team, and she is not alone. And she honors and thanks all who know her and feel her. And we want to say that for many people who are still struggling with the idea of the shift and still have profound love for the planet is because you've profoundly been architects for this planet. You have more than just this lifetime of loving and nurturing this planet and the hopes and dreams of experiencing some fantastic experiences. And while there have been fantastic experiences made, it was never the vision of the beginning and of how it was meant to go. And so it is very purposeful. And anyone that is feeling emotional as the vibration of the planet is expanding as we are helping it, and as all of humanity as we know now, because you are such great manifestors, will be supporting humanity so much more together. You will be so powerful and so successful in your duty and service to be able to give this love to all, that this will just help everyone so tremendously. So just honor the feelings that come through. If there are tears, release them. Do not hold back. Releasing is good. Emotional releasing, verbally releasing, expressive, anything that you feel that you need to get out of your body. That is fantastic. We want you to be more in tune with your body. Dance and be silly with your body and do the things that you want to do. Don't hold back. Don't limit yourself. Don't think that it may look silly or people will judge. Do not care what other people feel or think about you or for you or of you. Care what you think for yourself. Care what you do for yourself. Care what you put into your body physically and mentally. You are so valuable and so special and so important and so loved and so supported that we want you to have fun here. We want you to give yourself gold stars because we can't physically do it, but we know it made a lot of people giggle.
Me included. Thank you. All right. Well, we will talk again.
Yes, and we say this with much love. Farewell.
Farewell.